Morning. So you're at the garden centre and you fancy a Japanese maple and you want to take it home and you want to put it into a planter. We're not at the garden centre, we're at the in the polytunnel or the shade tunnel at the nursery. But anyway, so you've looked through and you've found some that you like the look of. What should you do? So if we let's start with this one. This is Acer palmatum falls fire. Nice looking plant, nice and healthy. And as I've said many times, first thing to do, check the roots. Okay, so that's got a really nice, solid root system on it. So when you take this home, you're going to want to pot this up. This is a 1 gallon pot. I would suggest from a 1 gallon, you go to a 3 gallon. Now, whether that's a nursery pot or a planter container, that's entirely up to you. So the next one I like the look of, Acer palmatum royal. Nice looking plant. Love the colour on this and the small leaf. So the first thing I'm going to do is knock this one out. And I'm going to be careful with this one because I know there's not a lot of root on it. I can feel it already. So yeah, not a lot of root on that. Enough, and that does have 1 or 2 new shoots. That is not ready for potting up. I would not pot that up. I would leave that into that planter, that pot for now. Or if you want an ornamental one, just find something very, very similar size. But I certainly wouldn't be potting this into a larger pot. It doesn't need it. So that, oh, bugger, this next one. God, I don't know what this was. I'm pretty sure this one was dug up from our previous address. Look at the root on that. Now that is definitely ready for potting up. So again, look for a suitable container. Don't go too big. So that's my third choice. My last choice is this guy. Something I forgot to mention. Now this one I know was grown from seed because I grew it. But I mean at the nursery you can easily tell. So a very smooth stem on this. So there's no graft union. If we go back to this guy, you can see where, excuse the label, Acer palmatum rootstock. And then the sign, which is the name variety, is grafted to the side of it. So that is how you can tell if it's grafted or if it's grown from seed. Back to the seed raised one. I know that this has got a 1.5 root on it. That's a really healthy root system. No dieback at all. No winter dieback on the roots. Seed raised. This one's probably about 5 years old. It's been overwintered now for 3 years, 4 years maybe even, and it has developed more hardiness. That's why we have no root dieback on this. This I know I could plant out once I harden it off properly, and this will do absolutely brilliant outside here. Where are we? 5A, 5B. So now you've got your maples, you're going to take them home, and if they need it, you're going to pot them up. But before you leave the nursery, you must do this.
Pay for them?
Yeah. So as Julie said, before you leave your nursery, you should probably pay for your plants. Yeah, you just really ought to. And then you've also got to figure out, if you're potting some of this stuff up, what potting compost you need to pot them up with. Now, this is just, there's so many options on this, and it's going to depend on where you are in the world, what is available. I might certainly in the UK, it's all peat free, which is a bit more of a challenge. Here in Canada, Ontario, we don't have restrictions on peat. So you're looking for a open, free draining compost. So this is my normal standard nursery mix. Peat perlite with some very, very fine wood fiber, very fine chips in it, if you want to call it that, but it's too fine for my liking. So what I've done is I've added some aged wood chips, or actually this is chips from gone straight through wood chipper. It's been sat around for, looks like about a couple of years actually, but it's really nice. It's got a little bit of fiber in it, and it's got some nice structure. And I don't worry about the big bits because I'm going into bigger containers. These pieces, they'll be fine. The next consideration is fertilizer. I've put some Osmocote in here. This is Osmocote.
Garry?
What?
Is that yet another one of my kitchen bowls?
No, it's the same one as last time. I use the same one. I don't keep using clean ones,
Really?
dirty ones.
I'll go
So
and count.
this is this is Osmocote. Slow release, 3 to 6 months. Now, for the Japanese maples, I will always go in at around about half strength. We're not trying to encourage big, long, extended growth. We want short growth in the plants, which then makes them a little bit hardier, and they can withstand the bad weather. They can withstand the sun. They can stand all the fluctuations because they don't have a lot of soft growth on them. So this was the seed raised maple. This is in a 3 gallon, and I'm going to pop it up into what to me looks like a 5 gallon. Nothing special about potting, no different. I mean, a Jap maple is a tree at the end of the day, shrub. So you pot it the same as you pot everything else. Let's just check that. Height-wise there is good. This is obviously, as you can see, this has got a really nice root system. I don't care if I pull these out. You're not going to do any damage. Not that I ever do bother. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's a living plant. If you tease these roots out slightly or you break a root, it's not going to kill the plant. Don't worry about it. And just as another thought, we are in the 2nd week of June.
Yes. And
I'm potting all my Jap maples. As far as I'm concerned, as soon as I see a Japanese maple start to make growth, that is the time you can start potting. And you keep potting, and you can pot all the way through the summer. There's no problem with it. The worst time of the year to pot a Japanese maple is in the fall, when it goes dormant. Because, and I'll show you what happens. So imagine this has got no leaves on it. It's got no white roots. All the roots have gone dormant. You're going to put that into some fresh compost, nice fresh compost. You're going to put all the new compost in, which I'll do anyway here. So you're going to pot this up as you would normally. And bearing in mind, I'm now talking about if you were doing this in the dormant season, late in the season. Great, plant looks fantastic. You're going to give it a tap, and then what are you going to do? You're going to soak it. You're going to soak it right through. That tree, that Japanese maple, is now sat in wet, cold compost the whole winter. And the chances are it's going to die. So if it's got active roots on it, it is absolutely fine to pot these things up. So anyway, we've potted it up.
Are you done?
Let me think.
Probably not.
No, I can probably think of something else to have a rant about in a minute. Firm it down a little bit. Give it a good tap. Job done. Now this one has a little bit of dieback from, well, it's not dye. Actually, it's just some old stems that I didn't cut off last year. Because as our regulars will know, we moved and everything was all to pot. So I'm not worried about that. Pruning wise,
but just cutting off any dead growth is a good time to do it now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And again, don't be cutting off anything that you think is dead until you've let the plant flush out properly. Because you could cut back to a healthy growth, and because you've cut it back, you might have cut a little bit too tight to a bud and it'll die back further. Wait till you see active growth in your plants, especially in containers. But just reading the label, and this one goes a yellow-orange in the fall, so that should be nice. 1 gallon. We already checked this at the nursery, if you remember, and we decided at the nursery that we needed to pot this guy up. Now, it doesn't have the big, massive, active root system that you saw on that seedling, but these have just started. There's 1 or 2 white roots here, bloody ants crawling around. There's another one coming through there. So it's just got a little bit of new active root growth. So again, perfect timing. A little deep. So this is going from a 1 gallon to a 3 gallon. So we've got about 1.5 inches space all the way around. The roots will fill that by the time we hit the fall. Firm it down as you do any other potting. Couple firmings. Tap and a tap. Drop it up and then that's it. We're done. It's so simple. 2 drainage hose. Could put more, but I'm not really worried about that. Nice sized pot. Do not, this is another rant. I knew there was another one coming. Do not, whatever you do, fill the bottom of the pot with stones, gravel, bricks, you're asking for trouble. If you fill that with gravel or stone, you will end up with something called perched drainage. Now, Julie's going to put a link to an article on perched drainage because it'll take me about an hour to explain it.
And we don't need that.
And we don't. No, because I'll end up going off on one. So do not put gravel, pebbles, rocks in the bottom. Compost. If you want, you can cover the hose. I'm not worried about doing it. You could put some crocks or something over the hose, and I could, if I wanted to, make more hose in this, but I know I got good free draining compost. And the other thing to bear in mind is all of my maples in containers, pots or planters come inside for the winter. They will not tolerate our temperatures here. -30 last winter, they'd be toast. So you have to bear that in mind. Can you see me?
No, that's just fine.
Oh, good. Okay. So you can't see me. So this is one of our older plants, Acer palmatum summer gold. This one will not tolerate the afternoon sun. It'll burn. So this one definitely needs a little bit of sun in the morning is good for it. Older plant, and it's heavy, obviously. Okay. Root-wise, nice root system again. I can see that. So nice active root. Now you've got some root flare here. So what I'm going to do is when I pot it, I'm going to pot it a little bit deeper just to try and get some of these roots back into the compost. So this is going from a crappy old nursery pot into a nice planter now. And then we'll just get some new compost in. Now the pot's a touch bigger than ideal, but because it's such a big specimen and it's growing so strongly and it's got such a good root system on, I'm not too worried about it. Firm it down around the outside. So you can see just by lowering it a little bit, I still got the very top of the root flare, but that'll be much better for it. This compost probably will drop a little bit, so I may have to just top it up. Watering. Now once you've potted it up, flood it. And keep flooding it until the water pours out the bottom. Do not do that, because that is not watered. Now, I'm not talking just when you repot it. I'm talking about general day-to-day, and stop laughing. Little and often, like hell. Sorry, no plant wants little and often. You give them a really good soaking till it's pouring out the bottom of the pot. Now, the only time you're not going to do that is late in the season. Now, when these Japanese maples start to change color, their water requirement is less and getting less and less and less because the root system is shutting down. So at that time of the year, you don't need to give them quite as much, quite as often. But it's all going to depend on where you have it planted or where it's located and where you are located. Most of the Jap maples that you pick up at the garden centre's nursery are under shade. So don't buy one, pick it up, stick it in a planter, put it in the full sun. You must give it some shade. Check the variety. Some require more shade than others. Generally, the red ones will cope with a little bit more sun, but typically pot them up, put them in the shade, harden them off. And the other thing that will do the damage, believe it or not, is the warm wind in the summer. So be very careful where you put it to when you put it outside because it's been babied at the nursery. So until next time, thanks for watching and goodbye for now.